Well, good morning on the 2nd of November 22, and it's a rather misty, dull Milan this morning, but it's not cold. It's about 18 degrees. It's very pleasant kind of morning you get in September back in Costa. I got a cab from the hotel, Regina, for, well, €15, something about that nature, €16, which is alright, to the central bus station. And I walked, and during the duration of having 3/4 of a cigaretto, I then purchased a ticket for €12 to Bergamo Airport. It's 10:05, but I decided that I'd go out early and take advantage of this luxurious bus. As the man says, he's leaving now, and rather than fluff about and stand about smoking, I just thought I'll head out to the airport, and better early than late. That way, no stress. Because I don't think, I don't know how busy this airport will be. I think this is the international departures airport for Milan. Flights to New York and Zurich and possibly Copenhagen. But for this morning, I have plenty of time to relax at the airport. I don't know how the duration of this journey, it could be an hour, because it's a different city, Bergamo. Unlike Milano, of which I arrived by bus from Genoa, Milano is only 6 kilometers from the centre of Milan. This one, much more. So, I've done really well with the weather, apart from yesterday. We had some rain for about 3 hours. It was very heavy for a while, but I didn't notice because I was in having ravioli during the worst of the wet weather, enjoying a very pleasant lunch with in a crowded restaurant with many diners. I didn't film my ravioli because there's children and stuff, and don't want to seem peculiar filming ravioli, and some people may suspect you're not actually filming ravioli. You understand? Careful. But there was many very well dressed Italianos having lunch in this fabulous restaurant, and the bread was very fresh. All meals are served with fresh bread, and they slice up the bread for you. You don't have to break it apart. They slice it into manageable cubes. Well, I would say cubes, parallelograms, or about the size of a large eraser. I don't think people use erasers anymore. Rubbers for penciling the wrong pencil stroke on paper, requiring a eraser or a rubber, so you're not confused with the thing you draw across your face to remove watercress from your chin in the morning. Yes, the eraser, or confused with the 1990s dual erasure, which were very popular in the very early 90s. There were lots of Erasure fans, but like all popular bands, they fade away, only to resurface decades later when they run out of money and they want to bring out a greatest hits CD. So I was watching a little television yesterday while I was dealing with some seasonal affective disorder during the dull period yesterday, and obviously some fatigue had built up over several days, and I was relaxing, and I did film this shite called the Bloomberg, just to point out how crap it is. But on switching channels there was a very interesting interview with Jim Kerr of the Simple Minds. Is it Jim Kerr? I think it is. And he was relaying a story from memory where he had gone to London in the 70s to see the Sex Pistols, and he hitchhiked from Glasgow to London, and the lorry driver said to them, well look, why don't you come to Paris? I'm heading out on Sunday. So the lead singer of Simple Minds said, well, shall we go and watch the Sex Pistols, or shall we, the advice we got, there's this fantastic band making lots of noise, Johnny Rotten, Sid Vicious, etc. Or shall we go to Paris on Sunday instead? I think we'll go to Paris. And what was interesting was he reiterated something I'd mentioned not so long ago, that in those days you could, up until 1989 I think it was, or certainly just thereabouts, because I took part in this escapade, you could travel overseas to Europe on a temporary passport. It was a creamy coloured card. It was not a full passport. It was a temporary passport, and it involved, I know for a fact because I went to Holland without a passport, and I didn't have a temporary passport. The Netherlands were not very good at checking passports, and neither were the Belgiques. I strolled through without a passport at all. And where are we going, Andrew? I think we could be fog-bound today at Milano. I think could be delayed to our flight if the fog persists. I wonder. I don't think we can get a direct flight to Mexico City from here. It would be interesting to check though. Washington Dulles Airport, or perhaps Vegas. But certainly I think we can get to JFK, New York. Yes, I'm thinking that we could be fog-bound here at Milano, and it was a very wise decision to maybe come here early to the airport, because may have to decide to take us to Torino or Roma or Valencia. No, not Valencia, you fool. What are you talking about, you stupid man? Yes, they may ship us out by bus to Venice. I wonder. Milan is a very big city and it is very busy. Unfortunately, like most of the southern European countries and cities, they are rather ruined by graffiti. And I think that graffiti should be a capital offence. And those caught graffitiing, particularly the old buildings, should face the electric chair. Although the cost of the electric chair, if there was any capital punishment in Scotland, for example, the cost of executing people by electric chair would be too costly given the increases on the electric bills. So I dare say gassing them would be very expensive too. So I think this is why they brought in lethal injection. You see the graffiti, it's not very nice. I think it spoils everything. It's unsightly. You see the fogo? Fogonetto. Up and Down didn't live in these parts of Milan, I can assure you. She was always in the more exquisite regions. And, she would spend lots of her spare time in high-class boutiques, mainly trying on shoes, all different types of shoes. I believe she has a separate house for all her shoes. She has over 500 pairs of shoes just for summer wear, and over 1,000 pairs of boots for the winter. But I'd like to see Up and Down again. I'm starting to forget how pretty she is. How could I forget how pretty she is? Yes, I might put money on the fact that we may be delayed today with the Fogonetto. Anyway, I should turn over a double. I'll come back with a story about Up and Down. So I'm pleased to say that the fog has lifted, and we have the Italian Alps on the horizon. So this is the most southerly part of the Alps mountain range. Stretches. I can't say what distance. I just don't know the distance, how far north they go. But that's the Italian Alps, where many Italian skiers do their stuff. I shall have to locate on the map. Do some investigito in regards to the extent of the Alps in Italy. It's not a bad morning for the 2nd of November. Certainly a little bit different from waking up and standing looking at a wheelie bin in Scotland. I don't miss my wheelie bin when I'm away. Some people do, but I don't. So this is Bergamo Airport. The Italians name their airports twice, so they've got different names for them. Be careful with that. Linate is San Donato, and Bergamo's got another name as well, almost French sounding. And so just be careful if you're travelling these parts, just to keep an eye on stuff. So it's not bad, we're having a very good time today. And the other thing is we can just saunter about, or relaxed mode, look up to the Alps. I don't think I'll be doing much filming indoors in the airport. I don't think they'll be allowed. I mentioned this airport's got two names, it's actually got three. Bergamo is also Il Caravaggio Airport, International Airport, and also it's got a French sounding name as well, so three names.